Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Good afternoon. I am Arohi, Associate Dean here at AAFT Online. And I, on behalf of the entire AAFT Online family, welcome you all to this special webinar wherein we talk about one size doesn't fit all. So before we begin with the session, I would want to know who you all are and from where you all are joining. So quickly, if you could put it in the chat box, from where are you all joining in so that, we can make this more conversational. Oh, wow. Great. Kerala, Dubai, Pune, Noida, Mumbai, Delhi. Awesome. Haryana. Okay. All right. That's wonderful. So we have people from different parts of the world, I should say. Great, great. So before we begin with the session, I just want to tell you all that, we are having our own online diploma program in nutrition and dietetics, wherein you can learn all the small aspects of diet therapy, wherein you will learn about food science, applied
How do I share?
physiology,
Yeah.
nutritional biochemistry, diet planning, and the latest diet trends which are going on, right? And if you want to enroll in this program, you can very well connect with us on this number, or you can drop in an email to us and we'll be happy to, get in touch with you. And believe you me, after doing this program, you will be able to help yourself to correct your diet, as well as you would be able to help your family members to correct their diet, and you'll be able to help all the people around you and correct their diet as well, right? So if you want to know any more details about the program, this is the number, this is the mail ID, you can get in touch with us. All right. So now we have Deeksha with us here. And just give us a few seconds till that is resolved. Yeah, great. Great. So before we start, just a quick introduction about Deeksha for all of you. Well, Deeksha is an accomplished senior dietitian and team leader of the dietetics department at Fortis Manesar, with an extensive experience in clinical nutrition and dietary management. She has previously served in prominent institutions like Sitaram Bhartiya Institute, Manipal Dwarka, and Medanta Medicity. A registered dietitian by NNHSA and an active member of multiple professional associations. She specializes in managing diverse health conditions, including gastroenterology, kidney diseases, oncology, and lifestyle disorders. With accolades like the Best Clinical Dietitian of the Year 2022 and notable publications in Times Now and News 18, she is dedicated to advancing health through innovative dietary strategies and patient care. And we are very happy to have Deeksha with us here today. Hi, Deeksha, how are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm good. I'm good. Hope you all are doing good in this
Yeah,
winter
absolutely.
season.
Absolutely, Deeksha. We are waiting for you to begin the talk. And to all the attendees and learners over here, if you have any queries, you can drop them down in the Q&A box, which is located right below on your screens, and I will be taking them up at the end. So all yours, Deeksha.
Thank you. So, Today's topic is personalized nutrition. As a dietitian, I think one diet doesn't fit all. So, introduction, like a person, what is a personalized nutrition? It is a customized dietary recommendation based on the individual characteristics. What do you mean by based on individual characteristics? Like your body type, what is your weight, what is your height, what kind of food. It is like individual approach. Diet doesn't fit all. It depends on individual to individual. What is the importance? It
Diksha,
enhances.
sorry to interrupt. I think there is some internet connection issue. If you could just, get it checked. Your voice is breaking a lot. Are you able to hear me, Diksha? Diksha, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, so we are not able to hear you properly, and the video is also getting stuck. You can
Okay.
begin. Maybe we can check the net connection. Okay, we can
It
see
is
you
fine.
now
Can I
clearly.
start now?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
If you are not able to hear me, just let me know about it. I will stop.
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, the factors are that influence our nutrition, our genetics, lifestyle, and what kind of environment we are in, and what kind of lifestyle actually, what kind of work we are doing. Are we are in exercising or not, or we are in a sitting position like we all are in a sedentary work style we have. Just really that.
Just click on the PPT, you'll be able
Yeah,
to.
And I think there is an internet problem.
Yeah.
So why personalized nutrition matters? It address a unique nutritional need person to person. It help to manage chronic disease like diabetes, obesity, cancer, or a metabolic disorder. It optimize health and profession as your diet is very important, because if your diet is not appropriate, you will not able to focus on your work, as well as you may feel like fatigue or blackout headaches. So that's why your diet is very important for your performance. It prevents nutritional deficiencies. As you know, vitamin D deficiency is very common. B12 is very common nowadays. So the your personal diet will cover up all these kind of lacking vitamin and minerals. Key components of personalized nutrition are genetic factors, how DNA affect your nutrition metabolism, metabolic health, like your blood test, gut microbes, gut health is now in trend, and inflammatory diets and all are trending now. So as a dietitian or nutritionist, I have to focus all the points when I'm planning a diet for the individual. So, in personalized nutrition, lifestyle factors, activity levels, sleep, stress are very important. Dietary preferences, your culture, and personal choices. There are some key points highlighting the importance of personalized nutrition. Tailored to the individual need, and recognize that everyone body respond differently to the food based or genetics, metabolism, and lifestyle. So, as a dietitian, I have to keep in mind what kind of food they are having and what kind of food are impacting their health. In right now, if I talk about the weight management, I have seen oats. If I give oats to the individual, they are giving me a good result, but it doesn't suit to another patient. If I have two patients for the same weight loss program, I can't give them a same plan because every food ingredient doesn't suit a individual. So as a dietitian, you have to check on and figure out what kind of food or what kind of uh, ingredient they are triggering. So, second is better management of chronic disease. As a dietitian, I have to consider their disease type also. It's not that if they have come for the weight loss, my job is to give them result. No, I have to take care of their disease also and managing with the weight loss, such as diabetes, heart disease, obesity. So I have to address the specific dietary need to reduce the inflammation and support the better metabolic health. Third point is optimal nutrition absorption. Ensure get the right nutrition at the right amount. Sometimes we take a good amount of nutrient and good amount of protein, but your are you aware your patient getting or not? The absorption level, sometimes the absorption level of vitamin and minerals are nil because they take a wrong combination of food. Fourth is enhance the energy level and performance, provides personalized meal plan to boost their energy. As you know, there are so many DASH diet, intermittent fasting, keto diet. So as a dietitian, you have to make sure that it suits to your client or a patient. And sometimes, due to low carb, they may feel headaches, blackout, fatigue. So, as a dietitian, you have to guide them and plan a diet according to your patient needs. Weight management more effective than genetic diets by consider factoring like metabolic rate, hormone level, and food sensitivity. It encourages long-term sustainable weight control challenges. So as a dietitian, मैं blindly ऐसे ही diet नहीं दे सकती patient को. I have to read out their blood reports, their past history, any kind of hormonal imbalance in their body. So, as a dietitian, for a weight control also, I have to take care of all the key points in my mind while planning a diet. Improve the digestive health, address to the food intolerance, allergies, and gut micro imbalance. As you know, gut health is very important. Promoting better digestion and absorption, it helps to reduce the bloating, discomfort, and digestive disorders. While we are on weight loss diet or any kind of diet, sometimes our gut may be upset or bloating because of fasting and feasting. So as a dietitian, we have to keep in our mind they your diet will not lead up to like bloating or gastric. While the bloating and gastric, if patient is suffering from bloating and gastric constipation due to your diet, so that is a reminder kind of thing or a alertation that you have to do some changes in your diet. Seventh is prevention of nutrient-related disorder, early identification of risk for condition like osteoporosis, anemia, vitamin deficiency. So personalized diet plans support longevity and the health aging also. So it's very important that if you are planning a diet, it should be the personalized diet plan according to their deficiencies and their activity. Psychological and emotional well-being eating according to the personal needs can boost the confidence. You can't give the boring diet a day on. So you have to be like person specific, is like this, like cravings and all, you know, some patient ask me, I am craving for sweets, what can I do? So as a dietitian, you have to give a alteration. You can't keep your patient on bland or simple diet. Scientific and technological advances assess through the genetic testing and AI-driven nutrition tracking help you provide highly accurate recommendation. So right now, AI is in trend. Various app and all is we have app and all to track our intake like calories, protein and all. But as a dietitian, what are you providing? As a dietitian, you have to provide a simple learning. You have to educate them. आप ये नहीं कर सकते हैं कि इतना कैलोरी खाओ इतना प्रोटीन खाओ, that's it. No, you as a dietitian, you have to educate them so that they can do their monitoring as well as they can balance their nutrition intake. Sustainability and long-term health encourages sustainable eating habits by focusing on individualized needs rather than one-size-fit-all approaches. So with if you want a long-term and good result, then you have to personalize their diet. Steps to implement personalized nutrition. First, assess the personal health data like their DNA, lab test, and all. Consult a nutrition expert. As you know, we all do the Google thing. So Google is not always correct. I share the example. If you search a high potassium food, you will get the list. And then go to the same search with low potassium food. You will get the result. Google is showing the same the high potassium, same as the low potassium. So please don't follow the Google blindly. Consult a nutrition expert. Develop a tailored meal plan. Track and adjust based on your progress. Incorporate sustainable habits. हमें ऐसी हैबिट्स 1-to-1 करके अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए जो सस्टेनेबल हो, जो हम लॉन्ग टर्म पे कर सकें. ये नहीं कि सिर्फ 2 दिन किया 3 किया देन आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू दैट. सो ऐसी चीजें करिए जो लॉन्ग टर्म आप कर सकते हैं. एंड बेस्ट एवर थिंग इज adopt one good habit at one time. Benefits of personalized nutrition is improved digestion and gut health, better weight management, enhance energy level and focus, reduce the risk of chronic diseases like your diabetes, your cholesterol imbalance, fatty liver is in trend. So personalized diet will be benefiting all. Final thought is your health, your nutrition, your way. Beyond one size fit all diet fail due to lack of personalization. And that will lead to frustration because your client or patient will not get the good result. And as a dietitian, I should consider that food is your medicine. If you are having the correct amount of food or balanced nutrition, it works as a medicine for you. Thank you.
All right, Deeksha, thank you so much for the talk. And to all the learners, if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A box. You know, we'll be taking them up one by one. And before I start with the questions, you know, again, I would just want to tell you all that we at AAFT Online are running a diploma program, a one-year diploma program in nutrition and dietetics, wherein you would be able to actually learn how to implement this one size doesn't fit all approach, wherein you would be learning exactly as to how to navigate as to what fits someone and what doesn't suit someone else. So, what are the nitty gritties? What are the importance of each food item? How to navigate your way and make a diet plan which fits your client so that he's able to reach his goal, be it weight loss, be it any disease management, be it anything, right? So we'll be teaching here, regarding the therapeutic diets, what to avoid, what to give during all disease conditions like diabetes, obesity, hypertension, renal failure, etc. So in case you're interested and this sounds interesting to you, please drop in a message to us, call us, or drop in an email to us on these numbers or this email ID, and we'll be happy to get in touch with you. Okay. So, Diksha, yes, we've been having few questions here, and the first question that we have here is by Rajkumari, and she's asking that what type of genetic testing is available in India to tailor-based diets on individual genetics.
So there are a few types of genetic testing, like predictive testing, diagnostic testing, carrier testing, penetral testing. So what is predictive testing? To assess like what kind of disease you can have in future. So next is your diagnostic testing. It is identify the genetic cause of extending health condition. So what are you going through right now? Carrier testing is like like person carry a gene mutation or that can be passed to our children. So there are a few kinds of genetic testing available in India.
All right, great. So I hope Rajkumari, your question is answered. Hita is asking that which is the best app when it comes to calculating nutritive value?
Uh, as a dietitian, if I say, as a dietitian, I will say that our NIN book is very good. But if you are not a dietitian, as a layman, you can approach any kind of app. There is no issue. अब राइस में उतना ही कैलोरी रहने वाला है आपकी पल्सेस में उतना ही प्रोटीन रहने वाला है लाइक वन एक्सचेंज ऑफ योर पल्सेस गिव लाइक 100 ग्राम ऑफ 100 kcal and 7 gram of protein. So it will remain same. Any kind of app you can approach, no problem.
Right, great. If you could name some apps, that would be wonderful.
Healthify Me is there. You can go to that. I'm not recalling the name of app, but Healthify Me I have
right.
used, so
Okay.
it is better.
Right. All right, great. So you can, use the various apps. Also nowadays, your phone has this inbuilt feature
Yes.
wherein you put whatever you've eaten and it automatically calculates
And
the calories.
seriously, I will tell you, I'm not more into apps and all.
Okay.
So as a dietitian, I can calculate each and everything. So I'm a healthcare dietitian, so there is no use of any kind of app. I can do it on my own.
All right, great.
And over the period of time or with the experience, you can say that आप एक प्लेट को देख के बता सकते हैं what kind of protein, what amount of fiber, what amount of calories and carbs. As a dietitian, you can scan with your eyes. So there is no point of using app.
All right, great. Okay, so Diksha, again, a question related to the genetic testing is there by Dharma, and the question is that what all genetic tests are required? For example, if someone wants to diagnose gut health related issues or the microbiome, then what's a test would you suggest?
For gut health, there is no need of DNA testing. For gut health, you can like figure it out your own. If you are having bloating, if you are having gastric issue, you are having headache, So then it is related to your gut health. If you are constipated, you are feeling all the time bloated, vomit, nausea, it's all about gut health.
Okay. So again, because we're talking about gut health, Diksha, so what would be your advice to people, who have a sensitive gut or, who are having issues with like the symptoms which you said? What would be your advice as a dietitian? What foods to avoid or what foods to take in particular?
So as a dietitian, I can advise have small frequent meals, check on your hydration level. Um, Actually, if I'm talk about nowadays culture, people forget to drink water because of they're busy with their work or anything. They are studying or they are doing their work. So I think we are lacking behind the hydration part. So make sure of your hydration part, at least 3 liters of water in a day. And small frequent meals should be there. Avoid heavy meals at night. And before, if you are going uh, to the bed, at least 2 hours gap should be there.
All right. Okay, great. So, in case you have any other questions, I would request you to please put them in the Q&A box. In case you're not able to find that, you can put it in the chat box. I'll be taking them up. So, Diksha, nowadays, because again, we are talking about gut health, and gut health is something which is trending. So,
Yes, right.
people also are going, I wouldn't say going, but a lot of people are complaining that they have this lactose intolerance issue or they are not able
Yes.
to digest milk or milk products. So, what are your thoughts on it? Should one completely avoid milk or take it? I mean, what is your thought on it?
It's a individual approach actually. So like presentation is on one diet doesn't fit all. So it's like that only. If you feel you have lactose intolerance, then stop milk. But you can't stop probiotic like your curd, charge, paneer. You can have it in your diet. If you are oversensitive, अगर आपको कर्ड खाने से भी इंटॉलरेंस हो रहा है, इंटॉलरेंस कैसे फिगर आउट होगा? इफ यू आर हैविंग रैशेस और यू आर हैविंग डायरिया whenever you consume the milk and all, so that how you can figure it out that I have maybe a lactose intolerance. So check it, like stop milk for a while. If you are feeling good, then that's when maybe the milk intolerance. But you have to test it again. You have to restart it again. You can't stop overall milk. कि एक बार डायरिया हुआ तो चलो मिल्क नहीं लेता हूँ, ऐसे नहीं कर सकते आप. यू हैव टू टेस्ट इट अगेन. Maybe with another thing trigger the loose motion, like your contaminated food, or maybe masala they have used. So at एक बार प्रॉब्लम होने से आप स्किप नहीं कर सकते. यू हैव टू टेस्ट इट अगेन. And you have to check also the probiotic also triggering it or not. If probiotic are not, then it is a little bit of sensitivity.
Right. Okay. So coming back to this topic, that one diet doesn't fit all thing. So what would be your approach towards finding, the right diet? Suppose I want to make my diet or, I want to suggest someone. So how do I figure out what is suiting me? How do I, navigate that?
Pardon, I'm not able to get your question, sorry.
So I was just asking that you were saying that one diet doesn't fit all, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do we come to know that what doesn't fit me or what doesn't suit me?
Okay. Um, uh, if you come to the dietitian, she will assess you. Okay, she will do your nutritional assessment, your height, your weight. She will check your blood parameters and all. Then she is going to give you the diet plan. Okay, in diet plan, she will plan accordingly by checking. It's a hit and trial method. One diet plan she will give you, check your blood parameters and your weight. It is improving or not. Then she will again pre-plan your diet chart. Then she will assess you, it's suiting you or not. So this is the way how the dietitian and you can figure it out, what is suiting you, what is not suiting you. So it's like a hit and trial method.
Okay, so we just test it, we see the
Yes,
symptoms like
yes,
you were
yes,
telling, symptoms like bloating, etc., which you mentioned. Okay,
yes.
got it. So Janvi is asking that is paneer also a probiotic?
Yes, paneer is a probiotic.
All right. Okay.
Yes,
And what are actually probiotics, Diksha? Because we've been talking about probiotics. So if you
yes.
could tell, what are
So,
probiotics?
the breakdown of milk is a probiotic, and a breakdown of any kind of food ingredient. Like South Indian food is a fermented one. Fermented thing is a probiotic. Fermented things are probiotic. Like your curry is a probiotic, your idli is probiotic, dosa is a probiotic. Even Yakult is there in food industry. You can have that. It is a probiotic. The whichever food ingredient contain live enzymes in that, it is a probiotic. It is a pre-digested form. You are getting a thing in pre-digestive form. So आपको गट को इतना ज्यादा मेहनत नहीं करना पड़ेगा उसके ब्रेकडाउन के लिए.
So is probiotics safe for everyone to have?
Yes, it
How
is safe.
much should we have?
No,
Anything
there is
on
no
that?
as such restriction in probiotic के इतना ही ले सकते हैं. No, you can have.
All right. Okay. So we have another question by Fatima, and she's asking that can you tell us the difference between a pre and a probiotic with some examples and their benefits also?
So like pre is a thing uh, which we can have in our diet. What happened? Just wait.
Oh, I think we've lost Diksha. The connection is gone. Um, all right. So before we continue with Diksha, we're just waiting for her to join back. Till that time, till that time, let me share the numbers again with you, the numbers which I mentioned in case you want to inquire about the course. So whatever, we are talking today about prebiotic, probiotic, gut health, all these concepts would be cleared once, you enroll for this course, because this is a very in-depth course which, you would be focusing on in case you make up your mind to, because nutrition and health is something which is not for the society, but it starts with yourself first. So you focus on yourself first and then you focus on others. So definitely you're going to gain a lot in case, you learn about what are the right food items, how to select what is good for you, what is not good for you, and, you move ahead with those selections. So yes, these are our numbers and the email ID, and you can, get in touch with us in case you want to know anything more about the course or any other details. So yes, we have Diksha back now.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. I don't know what is this, the internet issue or what.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we are talking about pre and probiotics. Like prebiotics are those who support gut health by improving balance in your bacteria, by balancing the bacteria in the body. And pro is the bacteria. Pro is a bacterias, and जो हमारे pre is a bacteria which introduce the benefit circumstances or environment for our gut.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Diksha, for that question. If you can switch on your camera, Diksha, we're not able to see.
I'm not. I have some issue with that. I don't know what is happening right now.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, no issues then. So,
So,
next question.
prebiotics are like most of the fibers. They give the right environment or right texture to the body to grow the bacteria in the gut. Like most of fibers are our biotics.
All
I
right. So, Rajkumari is asking a question related to this only, and she's saying that I recently came across a few papers, research papers, which indicated that homemade curd is only beneficial and also when fermented for a specific duration, typically not exceeding 12 hours. So, in contrast, the packaged curd has a longer shelf life and it may lose its benefits as the active microbes are no longer viable. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Actually, there are many companies in the market who claim like probiotic curd, yogurt, probiotic yogurt, but the live bacteria is live in a particular temperature. If your shopkeeper or your vendor is not maintaining a proper temperature for that particular product, there is no use to consuming that kind of product. So this is a right. If you are not having a probiotic or you are not keeping it in a right temperature or maintaining that temperature, you will not get any kind of benefit of that product. Yes, home-based curd is more beneficial than the packet one.
All right. Okay. I guess Rajkumari has got her answer. Okay. Isha has a question that is it healthy to eat brown bread or is brown bread healthy?
So it's depend what kind of brown bread it is. I have worked in Tadstat as a chef, so I have seen how they are preparing a brown bread. They are just adding a caramelized color in the bread and they are saying it brown bread. But actually, the brown bread is your wheat bread. You have to use wheat while baking the bread. But as you know, food industry is very complicated right now. So they're using a caramel color in the bread. So it's better to have white bread than the brown bread. But you can have wheat bread if you have to see the label on the bread, what amount of wheat they have used in that particular product.
All right, great. Thank you for answering that, Diksha. Another question is that, you are dealing with so many patients, so many clients, they come to you daily for nutritional advice. What are the most common misconceptions which you come across when it comes to nutrition?
जॉन्डिस में पीला नहीं खाना, हल्दी नहीं खानी है, पीली चीजें नहीं खानी है, दूध नहीं खाना है, एंड स्टिचेस लगे हैं, स्टिचेस हैं, दूध पिएंगे तो स्टिचेस कहीं पक ना जाए. फॉर न्यूली mothers, they have delivered a baby, they can't have rajma, they can't have chole, they can't have chapati. So there are so many myths in India actually, that as a dietitian I have to deal with them.
All right. Very interesting ones, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, and what would you advise to people, when it comes to balancing their food and their work life? Because I think this is again something lifestyle issues which you would come
Yes.
across these days, right? And you also mentioned this in your PPT as well. So how do we balance food and work together? Your
So there is three main meals: your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You have to take it on time. If you're on workstation, you can carry a fruit with you or a dry snack like your makhana, murmura. You can have peanuts. You can have um, even khakra. Khakra is again a very good snack because it is made up of moong dal or wheat, no maida and all that you can use for snacking. So main meals are very important in your diet, plus three healthy snackings. It includes your sprouts or fruits or saute vegetables, or if you want to have dry snacking like your khakra, murmura, your makhana and all. It is very important. You have to give nourishment to your body. I know the work is very important, but food is equally important for your health.
All right, great. Because we are talking about meals, Diksha, I would just want to know, because this is again a very common question, that what should be the first meal of the day, or what should we eat, the first meal in our first meal, when we start a day. Some people say fruit, some people say some, concoction, some pani. So what are your
Yes.
thoughts on it?
So, when you wake up, I will advise you to have water, like lukewarm water you can have, or infused water you can have. You can infuse your water with dal chini, cinnamon, or tulsi, or cucumber, or lime juice, whatever. Or you can have healthy drinks that will boost up your metabolism, like your ajwain water, saunf water, dhania water. These are superfoods. Okay, so you can include that first drink of your day. So it will cleanse your stomach, as well as if you're having bloating, gastric problem, it will balance your stomach pH. Then you can go with, by taking 15 minutes gap, then you can have your meal. The breakfast should be power packed, like more of carbs, more of proteins. So your breakfast should be a balanced and perfect meal of your day. Then you can have your lunch. Lunch should be the lighter than the breakfast. In India, I think now trend is having a light breakfast, then heavy lunch, or they skip lunch and they will have heavy dinner. It will again interrupt your gut health. Like एकदम से खा रहे हैं, फिर एकदम से, like enzymes अपना activate होते रहते हैं. If you don't give them food, they will start burning your stomach or causing gastric problem, gas production. So you have to make sure your breakfast should be the power pack. Then you can go lighter, 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 and lighter.
Great. I think this helps a lot, clearing so many things. Okay, Fatima has a question that what about the trend of intermittent fasting? What are your thoughts on it?
So intermittent fasting not for all. Um, Intermittent fasting is a thing that depends on your cycle. Like 12-hour cycle, 8-hour cycle, 4-hour cycle. If you're having doing intermittent fasting, it should be the balanced one. If you have 4-hour cycle, or a 4-hour gap for the meals, so the dietitian should plan according to that, that it will cover all vitamin and minerals in the diet, including your carbs and protein. So intermittent fasting is good, but it doesn't fit all. Like diabetic patient can't do intermittent fasting. The one who is having fatty liver can't do intermittent fasting. Your cardiac patient can't do intermittent fasting. Your cancer patient can't do intermittent fasting. So it depends person to person. And intermittent fasting can't be prolonged. आप जिंदगी भर फॉलो नहीं कर सकते हैं उसको. So it a particular time that we introduce intermittent fasting for our patient also, but it is a particular time, like for 1 month, for 2 months, that we have to give break. If we do prolonged intermittent fasting, our metabolism will be slowed down, and again your body will converting all the things into fat only. So it's depend person to person and the duration of intermittent fasting.
Oh, okay. Thank you for answering that. Tanu has a question that if the uric acid increases, can we eat pulses or no? I mean, is it a myth
If
or?
the uric acid increases, you can have pulses, but you have to cut down the amount. Like if you're having 4 portion of dal in your diet, you have to cut down. You have to cut down your purine sources. Purine is kind of protein. So in purine, if for uric acid, we cut down the seafood, your pulses and all, but again, we cut down the protein, but you maybe the uric acid is on higher side because of dehydration. So you have to take care of your hydration part first, then gradually, if it doesn't improve, then we cut down the protein according to the body weight. You blindly can't cut down the proteins. It is a balance approach actually.
All right, fine, fine. Rajkumari again has a question that there is a growing trend suggesting that having coffee for breakfast can reduce the risk of liver disease. So, is there any scientific evidence to support this, and
No,
what are your thoughts on it?
no. It doesn't, matlab, if you are having coffee, coffee means caffeine. It doesn't make sense actually. If you are having in breakfast, you will not have any kind of disease or anything. No, this is a wrong habit. Or and caffeine with the breakfast, actually as a dietitian we say avoid caffeine with the breakfast because it is a main meal of your day, and if you are having caffeine with your breakfast, then you are restricting your the absorption of iron and other minerals. You can have after half an hour, you can have no issues, or before your breakfast you can have, but not with your meals. Avoid.
All right. I think there is also this trend, because we are talking about coffee, about the bullet coffee,
Yes,
wherein, yeah, we add butter or ghee in the coffee and
yes,
make it.
yes.
So, how about that? Is that beneficial?
That is good, actually. Your ghee is again a good fatty acid, and if you are having it raw, then it is beneficial for you, for your bone health, for your skin health. Your absorption level will be good. For your gut health, also it is good. But again, a right amount of ghee in your diet. ये नहीं है कि 2 चम्मच 3 चम्मच जितनी बार आप कॉफी पी रहे हो adding a ghee in it. That is not appropriate practice that we do.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for taking this up, Deeksha. Manisha is asking that what kind of a diet is given for a person who has PCOS?
So again, PCOS is a kind of personalized diet. I can't blindly give I can't blindly give a piece of paper, or I will say इतने बजे ये खाना है, इतने बजे ये खाना है, इतने बजे ये खाना है, that's it. No, it is an individual approach. It's depend on individual to individual, the weight, height, the habits, the hormonal changes they are having, their thyroid and all. So it is a personalized thing.
All right. Thank you for taking this. Fatima has a question that, ma'am, what are your thoughts of drinking milk at night?
Yeah, you can have. If you are not having any kind of intolerance, then you can have milk, no problem. Even if you are having a sleep disorder, you can have milk with a pinch of cinnamon or jaffle, nutmeg powder, जिसको हम बोलते हैं. You can have a pinch of in your milk, and you can take it. No issues, no restriction as such.
All right, great. Kaveri is asking that, ma'am, how to lose weight in a healthy manner and how to maintain it. Can you suggest a diet plan?
Yes, I can. Now you can approach me personally, please, because I have to need a personal things, personal detail to design the weight loss program for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kaveri, let me tell you that planning diet is not that easy. That, you just
Yes.
ask and a diet plan is given to you, right? It requires many,
Lot
many
of
other
things
things.
actually.
Yes,
Your
lots of things
eating
are,
habits also.
yes.
Main are the eating habits also. I have to keep in mind the eating habits, their social life, how many times they are going out for food. So I have to design their each and every meal according to them only.
Yes, absolutely. And here, Kaveri, I would like to, say that in case you are interested to know how to plan your own diet, how to lose weight and maintain it, and how to plan your own diet, and what goes behind planning that diet, you can think of taking this 1 year diploma course, and you can, call at this number, and we exactly tell you how all of this happens and what all you can get out of this course, so that you can plan your own diet and not be dependent on anyone to make it for you. So I think that's a big tool which you will have once you get to learn all of that. Okay, sounds interesting, and it is interesting. So Diksha, before we end, one question to you, that
Yes.
what would be your thoughts to all the, fad diets which are going on these days? What would you suggest the learners how to, navigate their way through these fad diets?
Uh, Fat diets are not the prolonged one. If you want to maintain your health for longer period of time, then you have to be educated, not about the studies, about the food. Food is actually a science. And for science, for learning science, you have to like read it. Like there are so many of researches, so many of misleading articles, so many misleading of health professionals. So hey, like your gym trainers, yoga trainer, everyone is talking about the diet. Dietitian is talking about diet. They are also talking about the diet. So I want you to approach a professional for do any kind of fat diet or any kind of diet. If you are opting, kindly approach a professional, or you can go with the diploma that you are offering. They can opt that also, so that they can help themselves and they can help their other family members also. So there are so many misleading of articles, and like Google is also one of them, a bigger one actually. So if you want to be in kind of diets or in trends, then you have to do a research work, and you have to be like in a same level. So basics should be the one first you have to learn, then you can go with the fat diets and all, then it is fine. But the basic, if you do doesn't know the basic, you will follow the fat diet and you will lead up to the fatty liver again. Your diabetic, like cardiac problem will arises, because you are playing with your metabolism by following the fat diet blindly. So please don't do that. First, learn the basic, then you can approach these kind of diets.
All right, great, Diksha. Thank you so much for such a wonderful and insightful session. And thank you to all the learners for taking out time and attending this session. I hope you all took away a note, of what to do, what not to do, and how to curate a diet which suits you. So thank you, Diksha, and thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Well.